Welcome to Coming Home to Yourself, the podcast for high achieving women ready to lead from within. I'm Jagoda, and here we dive into real conversations about confidence, clarity, and emotional freedom. Each week, I'll share honest stories, gentle insights, and soul deep shifts to help you reconnect with the woman beneath the roles. This is your space to slow down, breathe, and exhale, to stop performing strength and start living your truth, to remember who you are beneath it all. Let's begin. Let me start with something that might disrupt you a little. You're not exhausted because your life is busy. You're exhausted because your nervous system thinks it's under constant threat. The problem isn't your calendar. It's the psychological basement you're living your life from. There was a time in my mid-30s when I had one foot inside burnout and the other foot still pretending everything was fine. On paper, I was winning. I was working, managing, mothering, performing. I was a gold star achiever. But inside, I was drained. Not I need a nap drained. I mean bone deep drained. The kind of depletion that sleep can't touch. And a 2-week vacation only masks until the flight home. I would wake up and already feel behind. Sometimes I still notice it, that subtle electric knot in my stomach the second I open my eyes. The mental list already sprinting, the urgency before my feet even hit the floor. For years, I believed a very dangerous lie. I believed I functioned better under stress. I thought pressure sharpened me, that urgency was my fuel, that if I wasn't on, I wasn't productive. Many high-achieving women are addicted to this state. We confuse activation with performance. But here's the truth. You don't perform better under stress. You just perform louder. You become more reactive, more controlling, more rigid. You're getting things done, sure, but at a massive internal cost. Looking back, I've always had this drive. My mom was structured and clear, but she did not demand perfection. Yet, somewhere along the way, I built an identity around being one of the best, not just capable, the best. And that identity quietly trained my nervous system to live in a state of high alert. Always scanning, always evaluating, always improving, even when I was alone in a quiet room. Then my body started whispering. Then it started screaming. Fatigue that felt like lead. Irritability that made me a stranger to myself. I was lucky. I was already doing the inner work and I had the humility to ask for help. That's when I encountered nervous system regulation, not as a wellness trend or a biohack, but as a survival strategy. You see, your vagus nerve is the one on-off switch for your internal sense of safety. The problem is that most of us live as if an invisible lion is constantly chasing us. Your body doesn't know the difference between a genuine emergency and an unread Slack notification, a winning toddler, or a passive-aggressive comment from a partner. It just registers pressure. And when you're in constant activation, you cannot access your higher self. You only access your fastest self. Vagus nerve leadership is the bridge. It's not just for the boardroom, it's for the kitchen table, it's for the bedroom, it's for your own mirror. And it means I lead from regulation, not reaction. I respond from safety, not urgency. I embody calm instead of demanding it from everyone else. One of my biggest breakthroughs was realizing that calm does not start in your thoughts. You cannot think your way out of a panic attack or a stress cycle. Calm begins in the body. It's about the tiny, almost invisible sensory resets. And it doesn't take an hour of meditation. It takes 10 seconds. Right now, try it. Focus entirely on the feeling of your feet on the ground. Or rub 2 fingers together and really truly notice the texture of your skin. Just a few seconds. Nothing dramatic, really. Just coming back to the now. And after you do it, pause. Notice the micro shift. Maybe your breath softened. Maybe your shoulders dropped a millimeter. That is regulation. That is leadership. You just interrupted a decayed old stress pattern. Now imagine this is in your home. Your child is melting down. Your partner says that one thing that usually sends you over the edge. Your instinct is to snap, to control, to fix the noise. But instead, you regulate first. You take those 10 seconds. You settle your own biology. And then you speak. Your words might be the same, but your frequency is different. Children don't respond to your instructions, they respond to your state. Your partner doesn't soften because you won the argument. They soften because they finally feel safe in your presence. And safety is contagious. When you are regulated, you think clearer, you listen deeper, you decide wiser. You stop operating from survival and you start operating from presence. For me, this was the ultimate liberation. I realized I didn't need my stress to succeed. I didn't need my anxiety to be valuable. In fact, your most magnetic, influential version only emerges when your system feels safe. So I want to ask you, what would change in your life if you stopped leading from pressure and started leading from regulation? What would change in your mornings, in your tone? Burnout doesn't happen because you care too much. It happens because you've forgotten how to come home safely. And let's be clear, safety is not laziness. Safety is power. Vagus nerve leadership isn't about being a Zen master 24/7. It's about noticing the moment you've been hijacked by stress and choosing to return again and again and again. You don't need a new life. You need a regulated one. Because when your system finally settles, you stop performing and you finally start living.
Thanks for listening to Coming Home to Yourself. If this episode spoke to you, take a moment to subscribe and share it with one woman who needs it. And if you're ready to go deeper, come find me on Instagram or Facebook, because this isn't just a podcast, it's a return to your body, to your breath, to your heart, to your own voice. Your story matters. You matter. See you next time.